Cold in here.
Good, Tyler. Good. Okay. Right there you are. Question.
As teams continue to try to slow Ashton and we continue to see what Maddux in this passing game can do, I mean, at what point do teams have to, I know it's pick your poison, but I mean, what's it like now with what the passing game's doing where a team's going to at some point going to have to back off a little bit on the running game and then Ashton can take back over, or what's that kind of give and take like?
We'll have to see on that. I mean, we don't have control over that. I would imagine teams are going to work pretty hard to try to stop the run game. That's, when you talk to any defensive coach, that's, no one wants to get beat with you running the ball at them. So every defensive coach tries to stop it. So I'm sure we'll continue to see some form of that.
When it comes to developing a quarterback, what are the keys, especially for, you know, kind of a young quarterback? What are the good keys for you, and what do you think you maybe have leaned on throughout your career?
Well, first of all, they have to have the ability. I mean, at this level, they have to have ability. They have to be able to learn. They have to be able to retain information. They have to be able to process information. So, you know, be able to take it from the meeting room and the film room to the field. They have to be able to protect the football. They have to be able to throw the football accurately. So they have to be able to run the team. They have to be able to get us in and out. They have to be able to have a knowledge of defense, what defenses are trying to do against us. So it's an ongoing process. There's a lot to it, and yeah, these guys are definitely growing right now.
It seems like you named a lot of things that Maddux has done a pretty good job at, but how have you seen him develop from game 1 to, you know, going into game 9 now?
Well, that's the point right there. Is, I mean, would he start 1 game or 2 games a year ago? And so anytime you're going from a experienced quarterback to an inexperienced quarterback, I mean, there's no better teacher than game reps. So we can have scrimmages, we can have practices, but it's way different when you're out there and the lights are on and the crowd is real and the defenses are trying to rip your face off. I mean, that's just there's no substitute for experience.
Back in the fall, you were a proponent of Maddux Benson as a runner.
Oh, I was?
You talked about him a little bit here and there.
Oh, wow, that's surprising.
He's starting to
surprising it worked out that way.
He's starting to show us with legs. Are you thinking about trying to get him more involved with his legs?
We have a few QB runs every week, and they don't always show up because they're reads. So we called, you know, the ones in UNLV, those were not his touchdown and the long one, and well, we have 2 or 3 every week, and you know, they surprise us sometime that they when it is a read that they let us give the ball to Ashton. So there was at least one of those in the game the other night, but. Yeah, we're not trying to run him too much, but we'll run him a little bit.
Spencer was just saying part of what makes a good quarterback is mentality. How would you describe Maddux's mentality?
Well, he's a winner. I mean, he's been a winner in everything he's done, you know, his whole life, and he's a very sharp kid. I mean, he can retain information and he can take it to the field. So. And he's just a natural leader. He's not the most outspoken guy, but he leads by example and he leads by his work ethic.
Sure, a couple weeks ago, something to the effect of he finally showed what I've been seeing in practice. I mean, just now that he continues to do this and put more and more on tape and in front of the public and everyone to see, I guess, just how much more is he becoming, or at least showing the quarterback that you knew when you know, way back before fall camp even started, had him atop the depth chart.
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you that back in 2022, I mean, when I took over 4 games after the first 4 games of that year, I mean, I'd been seeing it in practice then, and I mean, he's got a knack for playing the position. I mean, he doesn't have the ideal size, he doesn't have ideal arm strength, but there's a lot to playing quarterback besides size and arm strength.
What goes maybe through your mind or Maddux's mind when San Diego State does kind of come out like that? And I mean, clearly they wanted to challenge Maddux in the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of those first half touchdowns were plays that we put in just last week. I mean, those weren't our standard plays. The first one to Luttrell was a play that Coach Miller put in, and you know, they were all based on looks from those formations that we'd seen from San Diego State. And, you know, one of them was a first down call. One of them was I guess two of them were first down calls, and one of them was a second and long call. But, you know, we always have passes ready based on the situation and the looks the team has shown on tape against the teams most like us. That's one thing when you get late in the year. You take a look at Nevada. Nevada's played 10 games already. That's just crazy. So, I mean, obviously we have a boatload of film up there that we're trying to sort through, but not all of those games help us. Not all of those games are like us. We try to really study the situations and the teams that are most like us, and we formulate our game plan based on that. And this was just one of those games where it fell just right at the right time, and then the players still have to execute. You have to not have penalties. You have to have protection, all that stuff. So it worked out good.
I was just asking Spencer about Prince, and he mentioned, you know, he feels like Prince can run the entire route tree, whereas maybe last year he wasn't able to. And it's really shown the last few games. You know, where have you seen him improve this season the most?
I'll go back to the experience. You know, just the experience of playing in games and playing against different corners. Some guys are bump and run guys. Some guys are off. The other thing is, I know Coach D mentioned that. I mean, Prince is in here early and late studying tape. I mean, you know, Prince's brother played or has played in the NFL, so you know, Prince is pretty serious about football. And then I just say all of our receivers. I think the number one thing on all these guys is when they're healthy, they're playing pretty good. You know, health has a lot to do with. I mean, look at Latrell coming off a catastrophic injury, a torn Achilles, and it takes a long time to get back. And then Cam Camper, we didn't really know how good he was, and then he was healthy. And then Austin Bolt started off fall camp on fire. Then he was a little banged up. When these guys are healthy, they're all good enough to be playmakers for us, and they've shown that when they're healthy.
I think he got 9 carries in the last game to Crow and Riley, but just the injuries to Breezy and Staver, how much has that challenged things in terms of the depth of the backfield and how you've had to disperse carries and things?
Well, those are two pretty good guys. I mean, you know, think of the year Breezy had last year, and Breezy just hasn't really been able to make it back to full strength this year. I mean, we're hopeful. He's close. And then Sire was off to a tremendous start on very unfortunate injury. So, you know, we're down our depth chart, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys were all antsy when we only gave Ashton 11 carries in some games, and you were all antsy about that. And now we're giving him too many. I mean, I don't know. The object's to win the game. That's what we're trying to do.
You were very high on Matt Lauder even before the season started. What about the other Matt, the tight end?
Yeah. Again, experience for him. Matt Lauder had played. Matt Wagner hadn't played much. First thing that jumps out about Matt Wagner is his size. He is a big dude. Like every time I stand next to him, I go, "Damn, that guy's big." And he's tough. He's got really good hands. He's benefited from playing with Lauder, see how another guy that's done it before, and then they both benefit from having an excellent coach in Nate Potter. So even our third and fourth tight ends, Luke Voorhees and Austin Terry, those guys have come in and played smaller roles, but they've done a darn good job in those roles.
Just the opportunities too. Like, it seems like anytime you try to get the ball to Matt, like he does something good. I mean, in the last game there was a penalty on the play, but he still picked up like 25, 30 yards on it. The catch at UNLV was pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, that was. Mm-hmm. He's just one of those guys that as he's played more, he's earned more opportunities, and he's made the most of them.
Dirk, how much fun are you having with this offense? And at what point do you, because I'm assuming you're having a lot of fun with this offense.
Except for 12:45 on Mondays, I'm having a lot of fun.
This is the easiest thing you've ever done. At what point do you start thinking about next year in the future?
I do not think about next year. No. And neither should our guys. We should be thinking about what we got to do this week, and this is, it's all fleeting. It can all go away in a second, and obviously, we have a great thing going right now. Our players are on board. Coach D does an awesome job of getting everybody in the building on the same page, which is a big piece of this puzzle. We're relatively healthy, knock on wood, right now. We're playing solid football in all phases, and that's all we should be focused on right now.
Dirk, You know, you look at, again, it's about a year ago this time, the program was in a very different state. Spencer, when he came back, he said that he felt like he had the best assistant coaching staff in the country. In all honesty, a lot of you guys were here last year or the year prior. What has he done to, I don't know, whatever he's done that's made this operation as good as it's been so far this year?
Yeah, I tell my friends in coaching all the time, Spencer does have a really good coaching staff, and I don't include myself in that. I'm talking about the guys besides me. You know, the pay scale in college football has exploded, and for what these, you know, he's going to have a hard time holding on to some of these guys. I mean, some of these guys are going to have opportunities to, you know, go other places, and just like players. I mean, there's an NIL in the coaching world too. It's called cash, but he does have a good staff, and Spencer's very clear about what his expectations are for the staff. But then once he has laid those things out, he lets guys do their job, and that's what every coach wants. He wants to be able to do his job and within the framework of what the head coach has laid out.
Why is that? I mean, kind of silly, maybe it's still, but why is that important to a coach to feel like they might have that autonomy or control over what they do?
Well, I would assume that's probably why most of them got into it. Like I mean, no one wants to be ordered around all day. Mark Johnson used to order you around?
Yes.
Dirk, are you more impressed with the availability, the 30-plus carries, maybe the yards per carry isn't as high? Does that impress you more with what you do than the, 200 yards on 12 carries, he's out by halftime type of thing?
I don't know how to answer that. First off, our goal for a running back's average yards per carry is 4.25. If you're averaging 4.25 yards, you're staying ahead of the chains. So this whole yards per carry thing got overly inflated based on the crazy start that Ashton had. I'm just most impressed with what all of our players, but Ashton in particular, they're having to go through a lot right now. All right, they're having to go through this whole college football playoff thing. Like our goals are right up there. I mean, Coach D always makes that, but now this year there's the added thing of the college football playoff. That's huge. It's never been done. Never been done anywhere, and let alone here. And then on top of that, the whole Heisman thing. You know, that got rolling, and deservedly so. I mean, the guy deserves it. One of the best players in the country. But the fact that, you know, just all the attention and all the things these guys have to balance besides taking care of their bodies, lifting weights, going to school, having some kind of a life outside of this building, it's a lot for young guys. It's a lot for anybody. So I'm just impressed with the way he's handled everything.
One more QB development, kind of even on a broader scale, Dirk, and you've been in coaching for a long time. It feels like, you know, the need to succeed immediately is greater now than ever. But you look like
who drives that?
I get it. You're right. Social media, us, I get it. But I mean, you look at the NFL. Some of the young quarterbacks are really struggling. You look at even the college game. Almost all the good quarterbacks are COVID sixth-year seniors or fourth-year starting quarterbacks. Just looking at quarterback development in general, where do you think it's currently at, I guess? And what do you think about it kind of on a broad scale?
Well, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I mean, the fact that these guys are making $50 and $60 million, you know, that the pressure is high because teams are paying a huge chunk of their salary cap. That's just what drives it right now. And then as far as the college thing goes, you know, the transfer portal, I can't remember the exact stat of, I think it's like 57 or something transfer quarterbacks are starting. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, everybody's looking for that guy to get their program to the next level, and you know, some teams are finding success with it, others aren't. I think that probably hurts quarterback development because I think the best guys stay in the same system, stay with the same coach, stay with the same group of coaches, same group of players, and develop. Now, guys like Dylan Gabriel proved that wrong. I mean, he's been spectacular at 3 different schools. That must mean he's pretty good.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dirk.
Coach Bob's